Hey, sports fans, football season is here, and it's time to get in on the action with MyBookie.net. MyBookie has real Vegas odds and incredible player props for all your favorite sporting events. MyBookie offers in-game live action on all pro and college football games. There's no better time to join MyBookie than today. Pull out your smartphone and visit our user-friendly mobile site for adrenaline on demand. Open your browser and type in MyBookie. What are you waiting for? Call 844-722-2387 or go online to join MyBookie today. No deposit necessary. Terms and conditions apply. Play for fun only. Void where prohibited.
Hi, this is Jim Feist in Las Vegas. I've been making my clients money for the past 45 years. I'm releasing a special 3-day trial right now on SBTVNation.com. I've isolated the top 5 college and pro football games on the board, and I absolutely love these games. Go to SBTVNation.com right now and click on the 3-day trial button for your exclusive package of winners.
Have a product, service, or website to advertise on the biggest show in the world? The SBTV Nation podcast reaches tens of thousands of the best sports fans on the planet in over 194 countries worldwide. Take your business to the next level by advertising with us. Call us now at 872-529-SBTV or email us at sbtvnation@gmail.com.
SBTV Nation, get up out your seats because it's the dream in the house. We are back. It is Thursday, September 29th, and I'm here with my boy, the Mad Hatter. Let's get this weekend started. Let's go, y'all.
This is a very good time to start the weekend off, Dream. Thursday, as I've said numerous times before, it almost feels like the weekend. It's like when you get out of work on a Thursday, it's time to get busy with some football, and we've got a great card tonight, my man.
Yes, we do. Great. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Great.
We
have
a card tonight, Hat.
We have a card tonight, yeah, but
Yes.
My Miami Dolphins are playing tonight. So I'm looking forward to going out and watching that game tonight and seeing the Miami Dolphins versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm sure that you're already – I'm sure that the dream is foaming at the mouth, guys, on a side in this particular affair. So we'll have to have that conversation later on in the show.
I sure am. And if you are getting excited about going out and seeing the Miami Dolphins –
I am.
You need some help.
Coming off the big win versus the Cleveland Browns.
Yes, the big.
Good morning,
I can't wait to see the Dolphins. In fact, wherever you're at, please let me know because I will love to join you with all Cincinnati Bengal gear on and completely go mano a mano versus you, watching you cry with the Miami Dolphins.
Well, you know what? We'll get into football later on, guys. We're going to be talking college football, pro football, a little bit of MLB, a little bit of politics, and a whole package. And just looking forward to discussing and breaking down and getting ready for the weekend's games because we've got some massive games coming up this weekend as well. So, Dream, in the MLB last night, there were 5 divisions that were clinched, and there was one still open, and that was the AL East. So, very, very strange situation. So, Boston Red Sox are on the field. They're up 3-0 going into the bottom of the 9th inning, okay? All of a sudden, the scoreboard flashes up, and the Toronto Blue Jays lose. So, they clinched the divisions, but they still got to finish their game, right? Sure enough, the Yankees, bottom of the 9th inning, score a run, and then load the bases, walk-off grand slam. They win by 2 runs, and the Boston Red Sox lose the game but celebrate a division title.
Well, that's very interesting, and that's nice when you can lose and win.
Yeah, right. So. that drives me crazy, by the way. I hate that. And the same thing happened with the Cubs last year. Remember that they won, and they lost the game and lost a bunch of gamblers' money? And they were celebrating at the end. You know what I'm saying? But
listen, all right, now, here's my thing, no. Well, no, they didn't have it clinched. Okay, so, yeah, well, okay, all right. I understand what you're saying. My thing was, I think last year, though, we knew that they had it. I don't think that game was the deciding factor, was it, last year?
As far as the Cubs were concerned?
Yeah.
No, the other team lost. And I believe it was either Pittsburgh or St. Louis that lost and had them clinch a division with a loss. So
my thing with the Red Sox is, they didn't lose intentionally though.
No, I'm not saying they did.
Okay. Right.
But I'm just saying, when you're scoreboard watching and you know that you've clinched the division when another team has lost, you still got to finish out the game. And sure enough, their bullpen gave it up, Dream. And you know who pitched an absolutely stellar, insane one-hit shutout game?
No.
Clay Buchholz.
The killer. Listen. Anybody named Clay, because here's the deal. You know that Cassius Clay was his original name. So if you got Clay in your name, there is a level of greatness that you might be able to every now and then tap into.
Sure. And you know what? He's catching his stride at the right time, and David Price continues to struggle. And
Pat.
Yes.
Fall back with Clay catching his stride.
He's catching his stride. One hit shutout.
Before he goes into the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
Catching his stride against booty teams before he goes to playoffs and gets murdered. Trust me, the Red Sox are not happy about rushing Clay Buchholz out there to the mound.
They've got a pretty damn good rotation. A lot of guys on there. And you know what? He was the worst. And it seems like David Price is the worst in the rotation at this point. It's mind-boggling how that works out, but the guy that's making the most amount of money is the one that is getting rocked in these particular matchups here. So moving on, looking at the rest of it. So here's the way it sits right now, Dream. Boston, Cleveland, Texas, those are your division winners in the AL. Going over to the NL, you got Washington, the Cubs, and the Dodgers. Okay? That's how it works. Now, when you look at the wild card, there's only 3 games left for the New York Metropolitans. 3. That's it. And they're 1.5 games up over the San Francisco Giants. So basically, I think they have to win like one more game to solidify a wild card. This is New York Mets. Now, they got 3 games left versus the Phillies. So what better way to have your schedule fall than to have the Phillies? You know what I mean? So St. Louis has been losing. I mean, they're 5-5 in the last 10 games. They're 1 game out behind the San Francisco Giants. So the way it's shaping up right now, I think the Mets only need to win one more game. I could be wrong about that, guys, but if they win one more game, they'd have to win 2 out of 3, I believe, to host the game in Citi Field unless San Francisco and St. Louis want to continue to lose. So it looks like that wild card game may end up happening in Citi Field, and I would assume that they're going to throw Noah Syndergaard on the bump if that's the case.
Okay.
So that's the way it's looking.
What's the status of Matt Harvey, the Dark Knight?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Nor do I care at this point because Bartolo Colon has emerged.
It's a big section.
As being one of their aces as far as the MLB is concerned. Over in the AL, the wild card teams are as follows. The Toronto Blue Jays are up 1 game over Baltimore. Detroit is 1 game out, and the Seattle Mariners are 2 games out. Seattle's going to need a bunch of losses from those 2 teams, Baltimore and Toronto, to make it into the playoffs. But they're right there, Dream. I mean, they're 10 games over 500. I told you, I like this team all year.
Sure.
So, hey, moving on. We'll see how that ends up shaking out and moving on to the rest of it. Dream, did you catch a look at the debate on Monday night between Trump and Hillary?
You know what is absolutely mind-boggling? I did.
You did?
I caught the debate right when you were texting me that you were watching it. I happened to be watching it right at the same exact time, and I was laughing because I'm like, wow, look at this dude just texting about the debate. I'm sitting here watching it and trying to you know what? It was one of those things. My TV was on that channel when I turned it on.
Yep.
Probably because of the Sunday night football game, I'm assuming. I don't know why, but it was on that channel. And I went to go try to adjust it, and I stopped and locked into it for a little while. And yeah, you had hit me up that you were watching because I wasn't really all that excited to see the Saints and Atlanta.
Yeah, and that was a track meet. I was way off on that one.
It wasn't even really a track meet.
It was like 45-30 something, or what? 45-35 was that the final score?
I believe it was. It just was.
Imagine the Saints 0-3 losing in their house like that to the Atlanta Falcons.
But they've been decimated on defense, though. The thing with the Saints, and I don't know if you guys know this, and if you don't, well, you know it now. The Saints are absolutely decimated with injuries on their defense. First-round draft picks have been hurt. A bunch of people. First of all, the Saints didn't have a good defense to begin with. Right. So I'm not saying that like they were going to be dope because they probably still weren't going to be that much better. But making them that much worse is they don't have anybody on defense right now.
Right. exactly. And it's definitely apparent out there because Atlanta just did whatever the hell they wanted to do on offense. It was brutal as far as that's concerned. So, anyway, getting back to the debate, Dream, I know everybody's been beaten over the head with this thing, but I just want to give you my thoughts of it. Oh. And because I watched the full 90 minutes of this, guys. I really did because – and I'm not a politics guy, never been. But for some reason, I tuned into this. This is the actual first debate I've ever watched in my life. And you know what? I'll probably watch the three of them just because, I see the condition of the country where it is and what has been done over the last several decades. And I'm pretty interested to see how a businessman, because I'm a businessman, how a businessman would fare in politics. Now, going back to, a couple of things, and I need to actually read the plans and stuff like that. But it's, in a nutshell, guys, if you're not into politics, basically Hillary is promoting – she's going to blow up the middle class, make the middle class this incredible thing, and, give free college out and do all this other stuff. Yeah, talk, because that's all well and good. You could talk a big game, but obviously actions are bigger than talk. Now, Trump is proposing, where he's proposing is to all small business owners to get this major tax break, bringing it down from 35% to 15%. So that really caught my attention because I get murdered in taxes. So I think that's pretty good. Now, on the business side, I think Trump is great. On the politics side, with the cyber hacking and the terrorism and stuff like that, I think he's a little off on all that other stuff, maybe even a lot off. So it's almost like it's like a seesaw balancing match here, and I'm just trying to figure out. I don't know who I'm voting for yet, and nor have I ever voted, to be honest with you, and I'll proudly admit that. But I'm going to vote this time, and I'm just trying to figure.
How did you never voted?
I've never voted once in my life.
Proud about that at your age. You're supposed to listen, gang.
Because I just never really had a side, Dream. I was never really a fan of anybody.
I hear you. First of all, guys, our opinions on the show obviously are our opinions.
Right.
We're not trying to influence anybody what to do. We're just talking about what we're talking about. More like giving out a play. As far as politics is concerned, I got to be honest with you. First of all, it is my opinion. I emphasize my opinion that most of the minority community are not voting for Trump by any stretch of the imagination. Right. Period. Okay. Yeah. No Black and Hispanic is voting for no rich white guy. I know that most of them are rich anyway, but Trump is not, because he's known for being wealthy, just not happening. He could say that he's going to give us all the 40 acres and a mule that we were supposed to get 100 years ago, and we still will be like, nah, we don't trust you, because we just don't. On the flip side to that, if you're looking at it from a more intellectual standpoint, Trump says a lot of things that theoretically I happen to agree with. Mm-hmm. My problem is with most. Now, first of all, I feel like they all lie, because they all do. They all go in there and can't do what they think they can do because they don't know what they're doing until they get in there. The things that I like about Hillary, that the only reason why I feel a little bit better with her than Trump. First of all, I know she knows how to act diplomatically. And I don't like the way Trump carries himself from a diplomatic standpoint. The second part is she's been in the White House and around all of that White House bureaucratical machine for now, 12 years?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
12 to 14 years she's been there. Now, people will look at that and say negative things about that because I heard Trump, well, you've been there so long, how come you haven't done this? You've been there so long, how come you haven't done that? Okay, and I get that argument as well. However, she's been there a lot longer than he has, period. And he's basing running a business and running companies that he may have used a bunch of controversial techniques to get his success that you are not going to be able to do running the American country. So those are some of the things that bother me about Trump. However, when he says things like, I'm not allowing businesses to leave America and go like to Mexico, make stuff and then come back into America and sell them, that's wrong. I agree 100% with that. When he says stuff about, I want to do something about, letting people into this country illegally and then being able to reap the benefits, I happen to agree with that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he says a lot of things that make a lot of sense that I think are having a direct impact on our country and our economy. My only problem with Trump is behind the scenes, I don't necessarily believe that he will do the things he says.
And guys, you're listening to real talk here. I know we're a sports show and we're going off sports for just a second here, but this is kind of important here. So, and you're hearing it from a couple of guys that are just regular guys out there.
But I'm voting. I vote every year. I'm a regular guy. I'm voting, but I'm a regular guy. I'm a taxpayer. Yeah. I'm a parent. Okay. I mean, I'm a regular guy, but we're the fabric of this country. So our opinion, when they get up there and talk, they're talking to us and you too as well on the audience out there. So, I think it behooves you. A lot of people sit back and complain. They don't like this. They don't like that. They don't like the other. And I know people don't feel necessarily like their vote counts, but you should get out there, get active, and vote.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be more people voting this time than ever before, Dream.
I think so, and I think just because it's that's where our society is gone now. That people are really relative and they're really active. They're really more intelligent, and there's a lot more information. With the advent of social media, all the media networks, the news, it's a lot bigger of a deal and more important than it was, let's say, 50 years ago. So I think that enables people to get out there and vote.
Absolutely, guys. So moving on, let's just talk. Dream, I want to get right into college football and have a conversation about what is going on tonight. Because we got a couple of games on the ticket and one team that you've been following quite some time now, and that is the Houston Cougars. Let's have a conversation about them. As guys, we are from Connecticut, and we are watching the UConn Huskies go into Houston tonight. Dream, I should have made this part of a beatdown blotter.
Oh, you didn't beat down this?
No, I did not beat down this. I should have.
Put it in real quick.
Yeah, right.
Put it in real quick because the beatdown is definitely upon us, guys. It is happening and going down tonight.
Yes, at 8 o'clock tonight, you've got Thursday night football with college, and the collegiate slate offers the Houston Cougars, who are given 29.5 to the UConn Huskies. Houston's 4-0, UConn 2-2, under over 50.5 points. Dream.
Yes.
Is this going to be what you would like to allude to as a crime scene?
Should be a crime scene. I've called CSI and Criminal Minds. We are loading up the pack, getting on the plane, and flying out to Houston as Greg Ward Jr. and company are about to commit a crime.
Yes.
We got UConn coming in the house tonight. UConn wants to get it done on the ground. Newsome has 52 carries for 211 yards. This is what they like to do with only 2 touchdowns. They try to ground and pound you a little bit. They want to get 3 to 4 yards first down, try to get 2 to second down, put them in third and 3 manageable positions, and then they let Sharice do his thing as far as throwing the ball through the air. 79 for 118 with 819 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he also has 2 interceptions. Greg Ward Jr., can't talk enough about him. I think the only person you talk about more than him is obviously Action Jackson, but Greg Ward Jr. is also doing his own thing out there. 936 yards through the air, 5 touchdowns. Now, the thing that excites me more about this Houston team than Greg Ward Jr., who is very good to watch play, Houston's defense, has come on. Their defense has played a lot better, allowing only 228 yards, total yards of offense. That's really, really pretty good when you think about some of the teams that they've played, being Cincinnati, Oklahoma. Right. They've played a couple of decent teams that can move the ball up and down the field and just, weren't able to have any success against that defense. You also look at the wide receiver in Bonner. He got 21 receptions for 280 yards and 1 touchdown. This Houston team has the full package, offensively and defensively, only allowing 37 rushing yards. So remember what I told you at the beginning of this? UConn wants to rush the ball. Houston's defense is only allowing 37 yards.
It's going to be a tough night for the UConn Huskies.
Get the flowers out and throw the slow music on.
I happen to agree with you, Dream. I mean, you did point that out, that their rush defense was absolutely outstanding, and we saw it in the Cincinnati game. Cincinnati could not rush for a yard, I want to say, until like the third quarter. It was nuts. They had nothing on the ground, and that's UConn's specialty, is to try to ground and pound you. So what does that tell you? It's going to be ugly.
Be a pounding.
It's going to be ugly. Houston's only given up 10 points a game, Dream, and they're offensively almost 500 yards per game.
You have to look at their offensive prowess and look at their defense. I mean, they've got the full package right now, like I've talked about. And one more thing that makes their offense just that much potent is last year, Greg Ward Jr. led the team in passing and in rushing. But this year, Duke Catalan is getting it done on the ground for them with 48 carries, 225 yards. That means Ward can back off the running, kind of concentrate on playing the quarterback position. To me, that's what makes this offense that much more efficient and makes it a problem for UConn. Now, UConn does have a pretty decently based defense. They've been more of a defensive team, especially in the last few years. However, this is way too much offense for them to handle. I mean, I would expect them to maybe struggle and give Houston a little bit of a struggle in the beginning, but after that, it's just going to be a wrap, as I think Houston's going to take over this game and win convincingly. And do not forget, UConn beat Houston last year at the end of the season and kind of screwed up some of Houston's bowl hopes as far as going. I mean, Houston did go to a bowl last year, but they didn't go to the bowl that they wanted to because of Connecticut. I would say that Houston may have a small, and I'll just say small because they've got bigger fish to fry than Connecticut, but there may be a small tangible of them wanting to blow the doors off of Connecticut tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing, I mean, between the quarterback and running back play of Houston, Dream, the two-headed monster opens an amazing read option. Their read option is one of the best in football. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically where the quarterback kind of takes a step towards where the running back is going and decides either to give it to the running back or to take it himself. And when you have a dynamic running game, Dream, that I because I've never really watched much of Houston last year, and I've watched them a lot this year. And their read option is definitely one of the best. And I just think that UConn's going to have a big-time problem with that offense.
I agree. I mean, I happen to agree. I think it's going to, like I said, it's going to be a problem.
All right. Big ups to my man, Papa Smurf. What is going on? Good morning to you, man. Good to see you.
I need you to grace us with a telephone call at some point. I haven't talked to you in ages. You were supposed to call me last season. You didn't give me a call. Last football season, that is. I'm waiting for you to give me a call, so you better get with me and call in here, brother. We got to talk to you for a second.
All right, Dream. So let's talk about minus 29.5 points. Do you have the testicular fortitude to lay that many points with the Houston Cougars?
I do.
You do?
But I don't.
But you're not.
But I'm not.
I am. I'm going to do it.
There's other stuff on tonight to put it with, so just in case, I can tease it down.
I'm definitely considering laying that 29.5.
All right.
I'm considering doing it because you know what? Like you said, Houston will not allow any yards on the ground whatsoever. Watch, guys. I'm telling you. Watch them in the first half. At halftime, let's see how many yards UConn has on the ground, and it's probably going to be under 25.
And you're talking about two different programs as well. You're talking about an A-level program in Houston and a lower level A-level program, and then I would say a lower level almost C program in Connecticut. As most of Connecticut's money does go into its basketball situation, and the rest of Connecticut's money goes to taxes because we live in Connecticut and all we do is pay taxes. Right. And Connecticut is not a football state. The kids don't start playing football here till a lot later compared to Texas and Florida. The weather doesn't deem it for football. People, we got a lot of mothers here who don't want their kids with the, it's just a different. Connecticut is not. It's not known for its football.
It is not known for its football.
Which is why I want to get my two dudes and get up out of this piece. But unfortunately, my family is planted here, so I can't necessarily get out of here. But it's not a big football. And when you compare it to Texas and Florida's and other places around the country, Connecticut is not big on football.
All right, Dream. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the other college football game, and we're going to be talking some NFL. as well. So, guys, you're listening to your boys at the SBTV Nation. We'll be right back. All right, Dream, for some reason, we had a little bit of technical difficulties there, but it is all good, and we are back. And let's get into the next game before we do that. So let's talk about, what do you got, Kansas tonight?
Yeah, Kansas and Texas Tech going off at 8:30 tonight. Patrick Mahomes the second, is at the helm for Texas Tech this evening. 94 for 132, 1493 yards through the air, 14 touchdowns. Got to give this game a tad bit of attention.
Looking to win big this football?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What we good at?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Want to take the break?
Yeah, we're good. Go for it.
All right. Got to talk about this game this year. Guys, Kansas. Concentrating on the basketball team this year, okay? Kansas is definitely concentrating on the basketball team because the football team is not having it this year. No. They're terrible. Absolutely no good this season. My man Kozar is not getting it done through the air. Montel's 48 for 70, only 484 yards. Yes, 484 yards, 5 TDs, 3 interceptions. They're trying to do it on the ground. The running game doesn't work. 24 carries on the ground, awful. 134 for yards for 1 touchdown. I mean, these numbers are terrible, okay? Absolutely terrible. And the amount of yardage that they are allowing, 389 yards they're allowing. Now the flip side to that is Texas Tech's defense is not going to wow you either. Okay, they've given up 531 yards this season, which is ridiculous. So they're not going to wow you. However, when your defense is not playing well and you go to the doctor's office, they recommend that you play the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yes.
And that's what's going on tonight as far as Texas Tech playing Kansas. I don't really think this is going to be a blowout on Texas Tech's part by any chance. Kansas will probably hang around because, like I said, Texas Tech defensively has just not been good. It just hasn't been good. They've seen, a lot of points scored on this defense, but I do believe that at some point Texas Tech will get a handle on this game. They have a lot more offense than Kansas has, and Texas Tech will win the game.
All right. Breaking news. Perry Ellis is coming back for his super senior season. My man Papa Smurf is telling me.
And by the way, Perry Ellis is also the new representative for the Hair Club for Men. Yes. He's not just a client. He's a basketball player for them.
Very good point. Dream, I have not seen any of Texas Tech yet.
Well, they run the spread.
Of course. And, they have a pretty prolific offense here. But I just don't know. 61 points they're averaging here. Yes. Kansas, they still put up 4 touchdowns a game. So 29 seems pretty heavy.
It's garbage touchdowns, Hat.
Garbage touchdowns.
Ohio, 37-21. They let them score 2 at the end of the game just to make it because they was partying. Memphis let them score just 1 at the end of the game because they just had enough and had to get out of there. So, and then they scored a bunch of points against URI. So, listen, the talent level they played wasn't even that great, and they got drubbing by Ohio and Memphis. Memphis was the drubbing. Ohio wasn't too bad, but. No. They haven't seen the likes of Texas Tech.
Okay. So you're pretty confident that Texas Tech is going to get the job done?
I think the Texas Tech's going to win. Now, I'm not. I know what do you got for a number there?
30?
Yeah. That I'm not down with it. That I have to recommend that you fall back from and leave that alone. In fact, I don't like the game from a wagering standpoint, period. But if you are going to get involved, I would say you probably need to knock something off of that to have some type of success. So, tread easy with that one.
Anybody ballsy enough out there to take a money line parlay with Kansas and UConn?
If you are, I'll see you at the unemployment.
Would you hold that ticket, Dream?
I would not.
Would you hold it? I bet you a $100 player probably makes somewhere along the lines of stupid money, $20,000, something along those lines. So, hey, it is what it is, and we will keep it moving. So I don't really have an opinion on that. I like the Houston Cougars to get it done, though, and cover the spread.
Houston Cougars definitely get it done. I don't like the Texas Tech Kansas Jayhawk game. I'm gonna flip back and forth for a little bit. Don't love this game only because Texas Tech's defense, their defense just bothers me. When you allow 531 yards, I mean, that's a lot. Yeah. So that means Kansas may have a little bit of success, plus Kansas is home. So I'm not going to go too crazy, but I do like Texas Tech to win the game. I would say you need to manipulate. But we always talk about manipulating every particular situation. So that's what I think the doctor calls for in this particular situation.
It's at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Tonight.
So, wait, it is?
Yes. It wouldn't be that many points if it was in Kansas Street. At all.
Wrong here? Oh, you know what? My information was wrong.
That's all good. No worries. All right, well, let's take a quick break and try this again and come back with the NFL, and we will talk about a bunch of things going on in the NFL, guys. SBTV Nation.
Looking to win big this football season? Go to smpicks.com, the #1 sports expert in picking winners. Everyone wants that winning edge. At smpicks.com, you'll get 30 years of experience in picking big winners on all sports with our team of experts. At smpicks.com, it's all about being a winner. Owner Scott Matthews just can't see it any other way. Visit right now at smpicks.com and receive your first huge winner on us absolutely free. That's right, all listeners receive your first huge winner on us, Scott Matthews, a great American. It's absolutely free. That's right, free just by registering at smpicks.com/SBTV.
Hey, sports fans, football season is here, and it's time to get in on the action with MyBookie.net. MyBookie.net is the first and only sports action website with real Vegas odds and incredible player props for all your favorite sporting events. The best part is there are no sign-up fees and no deposits required to join, play, or win. From pro to college football, MyBookie.net lets you play online and win big. There's no better time to join MyBookie than today. Go online to MyBookie.net to open an account to start playing with the big boys. MyBookie has proven to be the most exciting online experience for all sports fans. Get in on the action. Visit MyBookie.net today. Call 844-722-2387. That's 844-722-2387. Or visit MyBookie.net today. MyBookie.net is the real deal. Only the biggest, only the best, only at MyBookie. Sign up today. No deposit necessary. Terms and conditions apply. Play for fun only. Void where prohibited.
DigitalMuscle.com, the fitness industry's media hub, home to the most knowledgeable, influential, and inspiring members of the worldwide fitness community. DigitalMuscle.com, the exclusive home of the Arnold Classic webcast, Pro Bodybuilding Worldwide Radio, and the new Digital Muscle blogosphere. Join us at the fitness industry's media hub, DigitalMuscle.com. DigitalMuscle.com.
Hi, this is Jim Feist in Las Vegas. I've been making my clients money for the past 45 years. I'm releasing a special 3-day trial right now on SBTVNation.com. I've isolated the top 5 college and pro football games on the board, and I absolutely love these games. Go to SBTVNation.com right now and click on the 3-day trial button for your exclusive package of winners.
Dream, it's time for football.
Well, no doubt, because we
NFL
just was
football.
talking about football.
Time for the NFL football. The National Football League is what I'm alluding to, brother. Let's talk about the game.
Football. Is there a game tonight?
There is a game tonight, and it's featuring my Miami Dolphins versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
And that's why I said, is it a game tonight? Because anytime the Miami Dolphins are involved, I don't necessarily classify it as a game.
Really?
More like a comedy.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Cincinnati's given 7.5 points. Under-over is 45. Now, where was this Cincinnati team versus Denver last week? Because they look like crap.
No, they didn't.
What?
No, they didn't.
You must have not been watching the game.
I was out there watching the game, and what they didn't look like crap. It's that Denver has a prolific defense that I talked about before that. And when you have a good defense, you travel well. And this Bengal team has never had that dominant crazy, blow you away offense. They've had a decent offense that's been able to move the ball. Lost a couple of weapons as far as their running game and their tight end is concerned, but they still have, the dynamics of the quarterback and the wide receiver. Now, that being said, they don't blow you away offensively, but when you talk about not being blown away offensively and you look it up in the dictionary, Tannehill and the Miami Dolphins are standing right there going, hey, what's the offense?
All right. Right. I agree with you on that. And the caveat to the Cincinnati Bengals this year has been offensive production. They're just not producing enough points. I mean, they're only averaging 82 yards per game on the ground, 293 through the air. But that's like 300, and if I had my math is correct, that's 375 yards per game. You should be putting up mid to high 20s in points, but they're only averaging 18.7. So they're moving the ball and just not producing points, Dream. So they're going to have to work on this and get this done. The Miami Dolphins score more points than the Cincinnati Bengals this year. It's crazy.
Not really, but okay.
Okay. Why isn't it crazy? They're mirror images of each other offensively. If you look at them, they're pass-happy teams with not a lot of yards on the ground.
Pat, would you rather would you rather swap the Cincinnati Bengals for the Miami Dolphins, or you good with the Dolphins that you got in place?
I don't know what to make of this Bengals team, Dream. I got punched in the face with them last week, and I'm not a happy camper with them.
They played Denver. By the way, Killy Cam got punched in the face by Denver's defense. Stop it. That's the best.
Yeah, but the Carolina Panthers should have and could have won that game. Cincinnati was just...
Stop. The Panthers should have not. They got beat. Killy Cam got sacked more times than he got sacked last week. Stop it. Don't take away from Denver what they can do defensively. Also, don't take away the teams that this Cincinnati Bengal team has played right out of the gate. They started up. They played Tennessee. They played Seattle. They played New England. And they played Cleveland. Excuse me, that's Miami. I'm sorry.
I know.
But they played, my bad, Indianapolis, the Jets, good defense. Pittsburgh Steelers, incredible offense. The Denver Broncos, good defense. But Miami hasn't played that caliber of teams. The only good team Miami really played was New England.
Seattle?
Stop. We don't even really like Seattle.
You're not feeling Seattle, huh?
We don't even like them no more.
Yeah, but at Seattle, Dream, come on. I don't know. You know what? I'm not plugging the Miami Dolphins. I'm not plugging the Miami Dolphins. I'm not.
Just don't.
I'm just saying that. You know what? I don't know the identity of this Cincinnati Bengals team. I think they've regressed and taken a step back this year.
Well, they've lost it. Giovanni Bernard is not there. They've lost their tight end as well. I mean, they're playing with some different, Eifert hasn't been able to start for them at all this season. So, I mean, there's some pieces to the puzzle that's missing. However, I got news for you. They're about to get it all together tonight.
You think they're going to get the job done and blow the Miami Dolphins out of the water? They're
going to get it. Listen, the Miami Dolphins right now are allowing 434 offensive yards player. 434. That's almost as awful as the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Yeah.
Okay? I expect Cincinnati to get this thing done tonight. They are home. They got to be angry as hell that they honestly were involved, kinda, in both losses to the Steelers and the Denver Broncos. They were right there. A couple of plays going in a different fashion. Games might have had a little bit of a different turnout. They're not losing this evening to the Miami Dolphins. I really like this Cincinnati team, especially at home tonight, to get this win against a Dolphin team that, I'm sorry, this Dolphin team's just bad. I mean, almost beat last week by Cleveland. In a situation that your own quarterback admit that they had no business winning the game. Right. Cleveland should have made the field goal. It should have been the Dolphins lost to Cleveland last week. We actually got it, Jim, that the Dolphins won last week because that helped keep the spread from being at 10+.
I know. Very good point. It actually did help out the spread, exactly. So, hey, moving on here, just looking at this particular game and looking at the matchup. First thing before we do that, I'm going to say that this segment is brought to you by MyBookie.net. MyBookie is the only football contest site where you can play for fun and win for real. Whether you're an expert or a rookie, play now at MyBookie.net. Use the promo code SBTV. And it's also brought to you by Mr. Jim Feist. Visit SBTVNation.com and click on the banner to register to receive his top 5 college and pro football games this weekend. So, Dream, let's talk about your thoughts on this game.
Oh,
I know that you're a very
my thoughts.
you're a very adamant favorite player.
Yes.
I know that you do not like the Miami Dolphins, so I don't think it's a surprise on which side you're going. So I just like to hear out how you're going to mathematically do this.
Well, I already told you earlier in the program that I did like the Houston Cougars.
Yes.
That I did not have the test. I thought that you can take them minus the 30, but you won't take them minus the 30. And that being said, just in case Cincinnati or Miami's defense decides to show up, because there's certain things you cannot account for. You know, we talk about turnovers, interceptions, obviously, fumbles, obviously. We talk about special teams, punt returns, kickoff returns, and then we implement a splash of bad refereeing. And you can get anything happen in the landscape of professional football or football in general. So when you add all those additives, it does behoove you to be careful, which I will be. And we are talking teaser time as we're going to tease the Houston Cougars with the Cincinnati Bengals and get that down to -1.
-1. So you think they're going to win the game outright by 2 or more?
Sure.
This is the Cincinnati Bengals that Dream is posting and picking with the Houston Cougars. So that would get you Houston minus, 22-ish?
Well, whatever we do, we'll get Houston down to 20.5 because we won't give 3 touchdowns in the Houston scenario because it's simple math. Yep. So we'll make the teaser. So Houston's down to 20.5, and that'll make Cincinnati probably at that point. I think you're going to have to do a 7.5 one. So then you'll have Cincinnati at a pick or maybe even +1.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. I understand where you're going with it, and I do happen to agree with you that Cincinnati will win this game. But I'm not going to bet it. I'm not going to take it. I need to see what Cincinnati is made of tonight. I need them to come out. They need to come out, Dream, and win this game by 2 touchdowns. They need to show everybody that they're still relevant here because they've been a regular season juggernaut. They are 1-2 already, and if they lose this game, they fall to 1-3. And then at that point, you got to figure out where they're going to be as far as moving forward with their coaching roster and all that, because it just has not been a winning pedigree over there.
Pat, do you know who leads the Miami Dolphins in rushing?
I've got it right here. I do not have it right. Foster's out.
It's Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I know. Foster's been an injury bug.
But to save you the looking.
Yeah.
I'm going to save you.
Ryan, they only average 83 yards a game. I mean, so it's not like, they're rushing tremendously. But the Bengals aren't either. Bengals are only 82. So
unfortunately, we couldn't get CSI and Criminal Minds to Cincinnati because they're going to be in Houston. Well, we're going to get regular Cincinnati PD out to Cincinnati.
All right. Miami, if you guys are trend guys, you're probably looking at Miami actually has been the better team in this rivalry over the last 13 years. Or 13 times they've played each other, but that goes back to probably Dan Marino at this point, Dream.
Here we go. The Dolphins are 4-0 against the spread in the last 4 meetings in Cincinnati. Dolphins are 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings. The road team is 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings, and the under is 3-1-1 in the last 5 meetings. Compliments of Cash Action Bets who just hit me up with all that information that means absolutely nothing to me.
45 is the total in this game, Dream.
Okay.
45 points. You think it's going to be a high-scoring affair or a low-scoring affair?
This one, I'm miffed on the total only because I would go under normal circumstances. The problem is we haven't seen any offense out of Cincinnati, or we haven't seen the offense click out of Cincinnati. I would expect if they got it rolling, it would be an offensive explosion by them. And I would expect they would, whatever they found that started working against the Dolphin team, they would definitely capitalize on it and use it to its optimum capacity. And them being kind of held down in their last 3 games, I would expect any type of success, just them to go ham. So I'm going to stay away from the total in this particular game.
I don't blame you on that. I don't blame you one bit. So, Dream, real quick. So we talked about tonight's games, all 3 of them, okay?
Yes.
And, obviously you've got a couple of baseball games that are going. We already talked about all the relevant wild card teams that are out there. But I don't want to go baseball right now. I want to just talk. I want to pick your brain real quick about the undefeated teams that are left in pro football.
Sure.
I want to talk about the Minnesota Vikings, the Philadelphia Eagles. These teams are all 3-0, guys. The Baltimore Ravens and the New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos. Now, we already talked about the Broncos, so we don't have to go there. But Minnesota Vikings dream, no AP, no Teddy Bridge. Bring in Sam Bradford with 5 days before the season started, and they're 3-0. Talk to me about that.
Talk to you about money line and the Giants Monday night.
Yeah, really?
Because listen, unfortunately, I know what the Vikings are getting done. I know what the Vikings are doing. I've seen their record, but I've also seen them play. The defense is absolutely incredible. It looks almost as good as Denver's defense. They've capitalized on big mistakes made by the teams that they've played and were able to get turnovers for scores. Anytime you can get a defense that scores points, we can't talk enough about that. And that's what's happening. Fortunately for them, Sam Bradford, they have not had to rely on Sam Bradford's arm to get them through. They played a very smart game, mostly field position, tactical type maneuvering on the field, and it's been coached up well. And, they've done an excellent job. I've talked about Carolina's lack of players other than Cam. I don't feel that it's a really talented team offensively when we look at them. Also, we look at, they were able to beat the Green Bay Packers on a night that I just don't know what was wrong with the Packers. The Packers just seemed to not know what was going on with themselves. Yep. Tennessee, I saw beating them, turned the ball over 3 times, but 2 of them were for touchdowns, and Tennessee was all in Minnesota's behind. So, I look at these games, they're undefeated, but I do think that there's been a degree of luck. There's also been a degree of bad decisions by the teams that they've played and a lack of talent. I think that Monday night, some things are going to be quite different.
Okay. I heard some people saying that the Minnesota Vikings are going to make it to the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Hope a lot.
All right. Secondly, the Philadelphia Eagles 3-0 without Chip Kelly at the helm.
3-0 without Chip Kelly. I owe the Philadelphia Eagles organization a humongous apology. Apparently, somebody in that organization, but see, this is my thing. Somebody in that organization knew enough about Carson Wentz, but you didn't know enough about Chip Kelly?
Right. Hey, sometimes you learn from your mistakes, brother.
I guess so. Somebody in that organization knew enough about Carson Wentz, and the thing that Carson's been able to do with this team. Now, the defense, a lot of people don't know, the Phillies defense has actually been pretty good the last 3 years. The problem is I've talked about this with Chip Kelly. The offense that he runs leaves your defense on the field for 2 more possessions than the opposing teams you're playing, which builds up over the course of a season. So we've not necessarily seen how good the Eagles defense is capable of being, which now we're seeing that as they were able to hold Pittsburgh down. And that's one of the best offenses in the NFL. So you got to take your hat off to what Philly's been able to do defensively as well. Dumb down the offense a little bit. Carson Wentz, you can talk about what he's doing, but he's not stunning you out there. It's been some pretty decent throws and things that you'd expect out of an NFL quarterback. What he hasn't done is made the rookie mistakes that you expect out of him. He hasn't thrown those bad turnovers for touchdowns or made, stupid passing into, coverage situations at all. So I think the Eagles are the real deal. I think they're going to go to the playoffs this year. I think they're going to have a lot of success. Do I have them going to the Super Bowl? No. But I think they're going to have a lot of success this season. I like what they're doing.
I got a comment from OJFB on Twitter. He's asking, who's better at turnovers than Eli? Well, I don't think Elijah Manning has been all that bad, to be honest.
Well, he was last game.
3 games, 925 yards. So he's averaging, 308 a game? But you're looking at it, 3 interceptions, 4 touchdowns, and 4 fumbles, Dream. So
once again, I do need to talk to you, and we didn't talk about this on Monday. Odell Beckham Jr., who everybody wants to love to death as their wide receiver, being a distraction on the sideline in the heat of battle.
Yeah, right.
You do not have time to be dealing with that crap on a professional football team. This kid's got to grow up and knock it off.
Right. Swinging his helmet, hitting the...
Dude, you can't, your team's in the game. You got to keep your head. You cannot do that during the game. I thought he learned this last season. this guy, man, he's as talented as they come. I agree. I can't knock that on him. He's a really talented guy. But you know what? I don't need that. And neither do the Giants. The Giants are not that team that can deal. You want to put that personality on a couple other teams. They could live with it and survive it. But the Giants aren't one of those teams.
Dream, another 3-0 team in the AFC is the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm going to say right now, I'm just going to use one word to describe them. Overrated. Because they played Buffalo, Cleveland, and Jacksonville, Dream. And you know what? Cleveland almost beat them. Jacksonville almost beat them. And they only beat Buffalo by 6 points.
Well, you have to beat who you play. If you talk to them, I'm sure they'll tell you that in the interview. You have to beat who you play, which they have. And when we say overrated, well, why? Well, who's overrated them? No, I mean, they're not overrated. I think a bunch of people picked them to lose, especially against this Jag team that everybody thinks is so incredible. I still can't figure out what the love affair with the Jacksonville Jaguars
I can't either.
is. But, I don't think they're overrated because I never had them rated as high. I mean, we know that Joe Flacco is a, Super Bowl winning quarterback. They don't have a million weapons. I don't really have them overrated. But they've won the people that they've played, and I don't think that they've played necessarily good teams. So when you say overrated, I won't say overrated. I'll say that their current schedule has just worked towards their benefit.
Sure.
And it's a little when you look at them being 3-0, it's misleading. And if I look at my crystal ball, there are losses in their future.
Definitely coming. That's for sure. And the New England Patriots, we don't even know their quarterback situation right now.
And it doesn't matter.
They are not. It will matter.
Well, it doesn't matter because I think New England Patriots just will lose this game. I think they don't really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would not touch this game with 100. I wouldn't touch it with your money, okay? Because it's just there's so many unknowns. But as far as I'm concerned, New England has done what they wanted to do. They wanted to have a winning record when they got Tom Brady back in the lineup. That has happened. So moving forward to this particular game, while I know that Belichick cares is going to be competitive, I don't think he cares.
Well, there's no point spread right now on it, and Julian Edelman is the front runner right now to start game 4.
And Fat Rex is once again back at it, running his mouth. The guy can't stop himself. It's like a disease. He cannot stop running his mouth. He always has something sick to say. He finally got that booty win against Arizona that the team desperately needed. And now he wants to run his mouth against the best coach ever almost. I don't know. You got to talk about this guy being the best coach ever. I think.
I agree with you.
All right. He wants to run his mouth against the best head. What all you should be doing, and when you go to the media to talk about Rex, is, hey, Bill, can you tell me how to successfully run my team? Because I suck at it.
I saw a line pop up as New England minus 4.5, Dream. That's interesting, considering the fact that we still don't know who the quarterback's going to be in game 4.
Right.
Interesting. 4.5, guys. That's going to take some balls to take either side in that one. So I'm interested to see what people have to say on social media with us. So other than that, Dream, that's going to do it for us.
That is going to do it for us. But when you talk about the Buffalo Bills, before we jet out of here real quick, if you got some people that's thinking want to jump on the Bills bandwagon and listen to dumb Rex Ryan's rhetoric, do remember that the Arizona Cardinals just at one point just seemed to all they want to do is just try to throw the ball deep and get it all back all at once.
Yeah.
Instead of tactically staying in this game and made it a mess. So keep that in mind. While I think that the Bills, if Edelman plays quarterback for sure, the Bills definitely have an advantage if that is the case. But it will still be a game regardless because Edelman is not playing defense, and we saw this defense, Thursday night? Yeah, last Thursday night, we saw this defense be effective. I would expect them to be effective against the Bills. And we saw the Bills' offense not look good in 3 games prior to this playing the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm not going to go crazy on the Bills. I think you stay away from the game.
Yeah, and it's not like Buffalo's offense is better than the Houston Texans either.
No, it's not.
So, all right, Dreams, so that's going to do it for us. Great show today, my man. Just nice to kick it with you and just talk about everything that we love, whether it's sports or anything that's on our brain, and kicking it with the nation. Guys, that's who we are and what we do. We are the biggest show in the world. Having an absolute blast. Dream, what do you got?
Hey, as always, I want to thank everybody who's gotten down with us and retweeted and been involved in the program. Got the incredible Papa Smurf in the house tweeting us up, talking to us all morning long, and that was nice to see you out there. You have to call in, as I want to get you on the show to talk a little bit with you. I haven't talked with you in a minute, dude, so please, got to schedule you a call in. Guys, tomorrow, guys, know we are on the precipice of a huge game going down Saturday. And tomorrow, I have one of the Clemson faithful calling in and trying to talk us down off of Louisville. I will not hear, even though I will let him talk, and even though I will hear his words, I will not comprehend any of it because no one is talking me off of Louisville. This is one of those that I'm just going to be stubborn. And if I go down, I'm going to just go down. I don't want to hear about the crowd, the lights. I don't want to hear about this. All the stars are going to be in this thing and the moon will be here. I don't want to hear about, he went to Lady Olga. She read his palm and told him that this is going to happen. They're going to get sick before the game. I don't want to hear about none of that. I'm taking Louisville. I don't care what anybody says.
Dream.
Yes.
Louisville was a 3-point underdog to start the week.
Yes.
They are now a 2-point favorite.
And your boy got them at -1 already. And I had to call the bank to get some more money at -2 because I don't have any more. But I had the bank to give me a little front to get some more.
I think you got serious balls doing that in Death Valley.
It is what it is.
I'm not saying I'm not plugging Clemson. I'm just saying I think you got a lot of balls doing that.
Let me save it for tomorrow. I got a little bit. We're gonna get on my man Weaver Weaves coming on tomorrow. We're gonna get knee deep in it and go mano y mano, and I can't wait to hear him because so far Weaves, all he's been talking about is the lights and the crowd. I'm like, dude, really? That's gonna be effective all of the first snap. But we will do this tomorrow. I want to thank Frank Vinculato, Direct Sports Solution, Sin City Maverick, OJFB, the Immaculate Jay Gotts, KMBU, Shane Whithead's out there. Welcome to the party. Mo Diggs, what's up? Rigetti's in the house. My boy Irvin, what's going on? Rick Lopez in the house as well. Joseph Del Rosario, JC, Jeff Ryan, Marley, Scott Weaver Weave coming in tomorrow. Get your gloves on, player. Jay Snyder's out there, Sir Mata, Jason Riley, LA WizKid, Jan Prince, Gary Bouchard, SD Grind, just name a few. Gang. I'm the Dream. Always remember who you're with. Hold on. Let me just give you the play one more time. In case you forgot, 2-team teaser, Cincinnati, Houston. Take it to the bank. Tune in tomorrow. I'm the Dream. Always remember who you're with. Make the most of each and every day. And you cannot get this time back.
If I can find a prop on UConn rush yards, regardless of the number, I'm going under. That's probably going to be my play tonight. Also, I'm looking at the Houston Cougars to get the job done and cover the spread. Guys, we love you to death. Go out there. Go easy. Rise and grind. Make all your dreams a damn reality. And get that money. Let's go.